All right, this next question here. The key part of this question is how to pause the signal until you get the market confirming that it's going to continue to moving in the same direction as the core signal. And so in this example, we have a very simple kind of core signal here, which is just a moving average crossover. All right. So on my chart, I just have a 930 crossover, and so we have a crossover, and then we need these renko bars, right, to be closing in the same direction as the crossover, and so that's the core signal. But then we want that signal to wait until the market moves a little bit further in the same direction. And so for this example, what was picked was 5 ticks. So we get a signal, and then when this bar, right, when this renko bar closes, right, we get the signal, but then we want the actual trade signal to wait for the market to move at least another 5 ticks, confirming, the market's gonna keep moving, instead of the market reversing, right? So here we have an example here, right? We have a signal, and then we can see by the wicks that the market doesn't even look like the market even moved 1 tick further, right? Instead, we got a signal, and then the market just reversed right there, right after, right? So so the core signal isn't going to show up until the next bar after the market has moved X number of ticks. All right, so obviously that the number of ticks is adjustable here, and so we're just going to pick 5 just to have something to work with here. So if we're waiting for the market to move, a certain distance in the same direction as the core signal, right, then you're working with the market in real time, right? So in other words, we can't wait for this renko bar to close, right? We need the signal as this renko bar is building, right, in the process of building. So that means, our indicator, BloodHound, can't be running on bar close, right? Otherwise, we won't see the signal until it's too late. So we're going to have to go in, and we're going to adjust BloodHound here. We're going to adjust this NinjaTrader calculate setting to on price change. So we're not using any order flow type of indicators. So we don't need on each tick. Really, you only need on each tick if you're using an order flow type of indicator within your system. Right? So if not, then that's why NinjaTrader created this on price change to minimize the CPU calculation impact. So, all right, so we'll make that adjustment like so, and let's see, what are we working with here? Well, I might have to switch over to, I might have to switch my data feed here. Actually, let me go ahead and do that now. Let's switch over to the simulated. There we have it. Okay. All right. I think the simulated is done now. Actually, hold on. You know what? Yeah, let me adjust my bars here a little bit. Oh, okay, that was quick. All right, great. So let's get BloodHound open, and all right. So essentially, we're building a 5-tick kind of price movement confirmation, or confirmation price movement, whatever. All right, so the core signal again is the crossover here. So let's just build this simple crossover. There we have it. All right, so I'm just gonna plug in those EMAs here real quickly. All right, there we go. There's our crossovers. Great. And then, right, we need a confirmation on the next bar. Right. So this next bar is where we need price to move at least, right, another 5 ticks from the previous bar close. Right. Oh, sorry, hold on. There. Wrong bar. There we have it. So that means we need to take this crossover signal and shift it forward onto the next bar. So let's take a look back node. There. And we're just using the displacement function, right? So we're going to take this crossover signal and displace it forward 1 bar. So, yeah, actually, let's mark, that's the crossover bar. And this is the crossover bar. So now we need a comparison solver, right? And we're comparing the close of the previous bar to 5 ticks offset from that close, right? And so we need the market. So we either need the last price or the closing price of that bar to get to 5 ticks past the open. Right? So for this comparison solver, we're going to set it to price, and we are looking back to, and we want to look at the open of that bar, right? So the signal is going to be on this bar, right? So we're on this bar, and so we're having to look back to get the open price, right, of the crossover bar. Right? So input A, we're grabbing the open price, all right, from the second bar back. And then input B is also going to be price. This time we're going to leave it on the closing price. All right. So actually, yeah, you know what? I think I'm using an older version where the last price was not being accessed in a timely manner. Yeah, there was an issue accessing the last price with the older versions of BloodHound. I think I still might be using that older version. Let me actually double check here. Yeah, so let's go and confirm that. Yeah. So I went to the download installer page, and on that page right here, I can get to the changelog page here. And let me just, so I'm on an older version here. I forgot to upgrade or update this morning. Oh, okay, good. So the version I'm using, which is 2.40, actually that has this fix in it. All right, so that was fixed with the previous update. Yeah, so you can see using the last price had a kind of a speed impediment there. So, all right, so that was fixed with the version I'm using. So we're good to go. All right. So you could use either the last price or you could use the closing price. I don't know why. Well, yeah. If you're a programmer, the last price can be accessed differently. You can access the last price depending on what your calculate mode is, I believe. But the reality is that really there's no difference between the last price and the close price within NinjaTrader. I think there is one unique situation, maybe two unique situations where the last price can be, I think it's an access thing. But as far as the prices, the last price and the close price are always equal to each other, right? So it doesn't matter if we use the close or the last. Maybe it's just a matter of what term you prefer to use, but from NinjaTrader, it doesn't matter here. So I'm just going to keep it on the close, just for good measure, just because I just don't want to get into people seeing the last price thinking, oh, what's the difference, and throwing confusion in there, having people think, oh, there's a difference between the last and the close. What is that? Yeah, there isn't any. So why have that problem be, why have that question come up? So I'm just going to keep it on the close price. So now in the comparison rules here, that is where I can take the open, right? So remember, this is the open of the previous closed bar of the crossover bar. And then I can add five ticks, not points, but ticks. There. So let's switch these over to ticks, like so. And for a short signal, right, we'd be taking the open and minus 5 ticks, like so. And of course, we're not going to see anything here, right? Because the close, on these renko bars, the close is always more than 5 ticks away from the open of the previous bar. Yeah, right. It's just because that's the way I built these renko bars. So we're just going to have to trust that we set this up correctly here. And actually, I thought I had increased that. Look back to 2. There we go. Now, to the programmers that might be watching this, I wrote this in kind of a coding format here. And the look back numbers are wrong for coding purposes. But I put the numbers in here to match, the input. Because the inputs, this is a period, not a bars ago look back, right? So that's why the numbers are offset by 1, right? The index counting starts at 1 when you're using a period. You can't have a 0 period. So to the programmers, yeah, these numbers are off by 1. So All right, so we have our comparisons. All right, actually, hold on. Hold on. Let me reverse these. I should have reversed all this. Sorry. There we go. Yeah, so let me open up the comparison rules again here. Yeah, so we want the close to be greater than the open plus 5 ticks. Right. So previously, I read this out wrong here. Yeah. So for this short signal here after the crossover, we want the close, which is the current close of the bar that's building. We want that to be less than the open, right? And this is the open of the previous bar minus 5 ticks. So, all right. There we go. Now I got that set correctly. So now we need an AND node. So we can take the signal, right? So that's our crossover signal from here, shift it forward, and now we're just waiting for, right, the close of the bar to get to that 5 tick offset mark. Put that there. All right, so now let's just reverse the market and create a cross up. And yeah, so obviously we have a long signal there. Yeah, this is going to take a minute here. Yeah, this little trend slider can be slow to get started here. So, all right, hopefully it's only a couple more bars. And so I want to make a note here, bring this to your attention, that there is a difference between using the closing price versus we could use the higher low price here, right? And we'll take a look at this in a moment here. So once we get this crossover, I'll slow the trend down here, and hopefully we can play around with this so we can see kind of what the differences are. Yeah, so let me slow the trend down. So this will be our crossover bar. Yeah, so we'll get a crossover there. There we go. And oh, we got a signal already. Wait a minute. Yeah, we got a signal too soon. And also, I should have set these to equal. Yeah, let me do a reload here. Oh, there we go. There's my mistake. I don't know why I kept saying the open. Both of these should have been on the closing price. Oh, Jiminy Crickets. All right. There we go. Now it's fixed. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes your mind just latches onto something and it won't let go. Okay, so there we go. We're comparing the close to the close. And All right, so let me move this up. Connect that in. There we go. All right, so a few more ticks and we'll get that long signal based off of the closing price being 5 ticks higher than the previous closing price. There we have it. Right? And then if the market backs off, let me pull the market down. There we go. So once the market pulls back, right, that signal disappears. So if you don't want that signal to disappear on you, right, so once the market has moved up 5 ticks, if you want to keep that signal kind of locked in there, then we can adjust the input A to, instead of looking at the close, we can look at the wicks, right? Look at the high and the low of the bar, like so. So even though the current close basically equals the previous bar's close, but that high is now locking in that signal there. So there's 2 ways that you could look at this. So using the high and low prices will lock that signal in once the market has moved up, or if you use the close, then that signal will come and go as the market bounces up and down, past that 5 tick offset there. All right. So I'm gonna leave it like this. And let's correct the name. There we go. So now I've got the name and the numbers corrected there. Okay. All right. So that's all there was to it. So in the email, Randy was kind of wondering if I had, any other ideas, any other ways to kind of test for the market's continuation. So, and that's not something that we do here at Shark Indicators, right? We don't find other solutions for you guys. We're only here to teach you how to use our software. So you must bring your own ideas, and we don't provide like alternate solutions, of identifying some kind of condition, right? So you must know how you want to identify a condition, and then we'll show you how to translate that into our software, right? But if you don't know how to identify a condition, we're not here to give you that advice, right? So we're not trading coaches. We don't provide solutions to problems that you don't know the answer to, right? That's something that you have to work out on your own. As a trader, since you're the one designing your own system, you also need to kind of work out, how to solve, a certain kind of condition, So, yeah. So, as far as identifying, whether the market, moves X number of ticks, in the same direction of your primary signal, the comparison solver, that's it, right? So there might be other ways to do this, but the comparison solver is the direct way to do it.